Hello, my name is Mark Stephen Wade, and I am an avid photographer, and I hope you are too. And if you're not, I hope you become one. It is a really fun hobby to have, or if you want to become a professional, of course you can do that too. I'm not here to make you a professional. I'm just love making photographs. I find that it is so much fun, and I just enjoy it immensely. It opens up so many doors to different kinds of photography. And we'll get into that at some point. But today we want to do a short video and talk about one of the main foundational things for controlling your exposure. The first thing I want to talk about is ISO. Now ISO, without getting into the history of it, because I don't care about the history, I just want to tell you what it does. What it does is it tells your camera sensor how fast your photograph is going to be. And without getting into the technical side of it, it's about the gain of your sensor. Now you can set your sensor gain high, say like at ISO 6400, or you can set it low to like ISO 100. And the difference between those two means at ISO 6400, your photograph is going to expose properly much quicker than if it's set at ISO 100, depending on a couple of other variables, and we'll get into that. But when will I do this? Why do I have to think about this? Well, there are different things that happen when you're shooting video. But when you're making photographs, when you go outside, say it's really sunny, right? You might want to make a longer exposure photograph, and so you're going to set your camera, you're going to set it up to about ISO 100 or 50, depending on how low it will go. They're all different. So that you can let in light at a slower rate. When you do that, you're going to end up with less noise. If you start setting your ISO up to 6400, generally speaking, not in every case, but generally speaking, when you get a higher ISO, you're going to get some noise, especially in darker environments where your camera is not quite collecting enough information for it to know what to do. And there's a lot of exceptions. All of that, I know about all that. It's all out there. But for the general rule, when you're at a higher ISO, you can expect more noise. So how do you set your ISO? Well, in this camera, and every camera is going to be a little bit different. Look at this, battery's dead. Great. Anyway, that doesn't matter. There's a little selection here, and on your camera it might be different. And so here on this is the A6500, and you can see that with this little wheel here, you can scroll up and down to set your ISO. So we're going to tell you when your ISO needs to apply to the other variables that happen when you are setting your exposure and why you're setting your exposure for different things. But that's the long and the short of it. We're going to get into the other variables here next so you can understand why the ISO works with your shutter speed and with your aperture. So thank you for listening. That was just a snort. That was just a short little snippet of what's to come next in this tutorial. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and I really do hope you're working on becoming an avid photographer. Thank you.